Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the channel. In this one today, we're going to be doing another COD Zombies ranking. In this one, it's going to be ranking the worst zombie map in every single COD Zombies game. Now, we're not only going to be doing the Treyarch games for this video, we're also going to be ranking the non-Treyarch games as well. And there's also going to be no special criteria like how we usually do with the weapons. So with all that out of the way with, let's just jump right into it. Now, for the worst map in World at War, this is going to be going to Nocturne Totem. Now, Nocturne Totem is by no means a top 10 worst zombie map of all time. It's just compared to the other maps on World at War, I could definitely say that it is one of, if not the worst. Compared to Shinonuma, I would rather play Shinonuma to get to high rounds, to have fun with the Wunderwaffe, to play with the Hellhounds, and it's a lot more easier to get into that map if you're a newer player. And Nocturne Totem, it's a lot harder to enjoy zombies on that map, mainly due to these super slow spawns. If you're brand new to zombies or video games in general, Nocturne Totem can be a fun map to just load onto and play, have a good time. It's really easy to get into that map. There's only 3 doors that you have to unlock. Then you have the full map unlocked, and you don't have to worry about the box moving either, which is a plus in my opinion. But in terms of other maps in World at War, I would definitely say Verrückt is a lot better. I would definitely say Der Riese is miles better compared to Nocturne Totem. Unfortunately, Nocturne Totem is just a little bit too primitive for the time compared to those other maps, so I do have to put it as the worst map for World at War. Now, coming in for the worst map in Black Ops 1, this is going to be going to 5. Now, 5, again, it's a similar case to Nocturne Totem. By no means is it the worst map of all time or a top 10 worst of all time, but it is the worst in Black Ops 1 by a landslide. Compared to Kino der Toten, I don't think 5 meets up compared to that map. Compared to the DLC season either, I think Ascension is a lot better. You're going to get a lot more enjoyment with the Wonder Weapon on that map, and just the map layout overall, it's a lot better for newer players. Compared to Call of the Dead is just a masterpiece on Black Ops 1, so you can't really compare those two either. Compared to Shangri-La is just a beautiful map that's really fun to play on. There's a lot of quirky mechanics that I love on Shangri-La compared to 5. And on Moon, personally my favorite map on Black Ops 1. It's not even close in my opinion. Moon is just a lot more fun to play on. 5 was originally designed to be the hardcore equivalent of a survival map. It was their first attempt at it. There are a lot of aspects that I do love on 5, like the Pentagon Thief, but the Wonder Weapon is just really bad. The map layout isn't really too good either. It's hard to get on high rounds on this map or justify any reason to load onto this map compared to Kino or other Black Ops 1 maps. So for that, I have to put it as the worst map for Black Ops 1. Black Ops 2 is known to have one of, if not the worst zombie maps of all time, that being Transit. So for this list, it wasn't really too hard to find the worst zombie map for Black Ops 2. Die Rise is pretty close, it's also really bad, but I think Transit takes the cake easily for this one in my opinion. I don't really find too much enjoyment with playing on Transit. When comparing Transit to other maps in Black Ops 2, it's not even close in my opinion. Origins, Buried, and Mob of the Dead are all miles better than Transit in terms of map layout, in terms of gameplay, in terms of just wonder weapons, everything that you can enjoy on a map. All those maps are just miles better than Transit. Like I said, Die Rise is the only one that's close, but I do love the Slickerfire on Die Rise a lot more than the Jet Gun. I love the Slickerfire when it comes to just normal wonder weapons and zombies as a whole. So for that, I do have to put Transit as the worst map for Black Ops 2. Now with Advanced Warfare, like I said many times in the past, it isn't a zombies game that I played a lot of. I did play all of the maps at least once in my life, but I never really went back to play them multiple times. From what I do remember, I could say that Infection is definitely the worst. I hate how it locks you into these sewers in the later rounds. It's a little bit annoying to deal with that. I also hate how the Easter egg steps are really annoying and just don't look fun to do. I don't like how the map constantly forces you to do a bunch of stupid challenges to get through the map, and then at the end it still just locks you into the sewers either way if you're playing on higher rounds. I also don't like the Wonder Weapon. It's one of the worst. It's pretty much like a second version of the Jet Gun, the Magnetron. horrible wonder weapon, horrible map layout. In terms of exo zombie maps, this is by far one of the worst ways that exo zombies could have started. It was already looking really bad because they had to delay it for survival mode. But with the launch of this map, it just made it even worse. The fact that you had to pay money to unlock zombies in the first place, and this was the product that you got, it just kind of strayed me away from Exo Zombies. It was probably the main reason why I never went back to play Exo Zombies. So for that, I definitely have to put Infection as the worst map for Advanced Warfare. Now coming in for the worst map on Black Ops 3, we have Zetsubo no Shima. Now Zetsubo no Shima, again, a very similar case to Black Ops 1 and World at War. It is by no means a bad map, and for me personally, I love Zetsubo a lot. For me, it's like a top 15 of all time. And it's a little bit weird to be putting it as the worst Black Ops 3 map because it is actually a really good, decent map all around compared to other maps from both non-Treyarch and Treyarch. I do love Zetsubo a lot. It's just when you compare it to the other base maps on Black Ops 3, like Shadows of Evil, Drak, Gurad Krovi, it just doesn't even come close. There are aspects on Zetsubo that I love a lot more compared to the other Black Ops 3 zombie maps. I really love the specialist on this map. It's really easy to get, really easy to understand how to get it as well. And then when you do get it, it's very, very overpowered. It's really, really strong on that map in specific because you can just destroy anything that's in your way. Really, really good when it comes to the specialist weapon. The KT-4 is a little bit lacking compared to the other wonder weapons on Black Ops 3. It's still really good and really strong compared to other wonder weapons in zombies in general. But in Black Ops 3, it's not that great. It takes forever to fully upgrade this wonder weapon to its max potential. And when you do get the KT-4 to the Messamune, it's still not that good compared to most other wonder weapons in Black Ops 3. The biggest issue that I do have with Zetsubo, however, is the fact that it takes forever to fully open up the map. You could be spending thousands of points on the early rounds just to turn on the power, and then thousands more just opening up all the doors in the bunker. Overall, Zetsubo isn't really too bad of a map. I would even go as far as to say that it is a top 20 or a top 15. It is a really solid map compared to all of the maps in Treyarch Zombies and non-Treyarch Zombies, in my opinion. It's just compared to other maps in Black Ops 3, it's not that great, so for that, I have to put it as the worst map for this game. Now, in my opinion, IW's worst map is Beast from Beyond. There is only one redeeming factor on this map, and that's after you do the Easter egg on this map, you can fight Mephistopheles right afterwards, which for that, I will give it some credit. But overall, in terms of just the map by itself, definitely one of the worst when it comes to layout. I had to look up multiple guides just to turn on the power for this map. Every single time I do play this map, I always die before round 10 because it's way too hard to fight the cryptids on this map. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel like a zombies map, which is its big issue in my opinion. There's just way too many reused assets from Ghost. For example, you do have the Wonder Weapon, which was carried over from Extinction. It's okay, but it's still just kind of meh. And when it comes to the map layout, it's definitely one of the worst. In order for zombies to spawn in, you have to turn on the power. Up until then, you're going to be fighting cryptids up until round 5, 6. If you're a newer player, probably round 10, you're just going to be fighting cryptids, which is annoying. Overall, I would definitely say this is a waste of resources when it comes to Infinity Ward. They would have been better off just adding in the Mephistopheles boss fight as the last DLC instead of whatever we got from Beast from Beyond. In my opinion, it was a waste of resources and definitely deserving of the worst map for IW. Now, the worst map on World War II Zombies is going to be going to the Tortured Path. If you can even call the Tortured Path a map, it is by far one of, if not the worst in all of Zombies. It's pretty much a sequence of 10 rounds 3 times, played throughout 3 different areas. So you play 10 rounds in one area, then you get transported to another area to play another 10 rounds, and then transported again to play 10 more rounds once again. Then you're pretty much done. And it's an interesting concept for just a part-time game mode, but the fact that they charged it as an actual DLC pack for World War II, it just puts a sour taste in everyone's mouth whoever bought the World War II Season Pass. There really isn't anything new when it comes to the Tortured Path. It's just a combination of a bunch of reused assets from previous World War II zombie maps. There is reused bosses, reused wonder weapons, so it doesn't really have much to stand up for compared to the other World War II zombie maps. And the Easter egg is also by far one of the worst as well. It took forever to solve, and then once it did finally get solved, it really wasn't that rewarding, nor was it really good either. There is one redeeming factor with this map, if you can call it that, and that's the fact that the last boss fight that you fight is actually pretty interesting. There are some unique mechanics like how he can regen his health. It's a little bit annoying, but he is actually pretty unique, and I do like that part of the Tortured Path. The Tortured Path as a whole was just kind of a way to force out more content from Sledgehammer's end. They didn't really want to release this map. They didn't want to spend more resources on an already dying zombies game. World War II completely underperformed after the launch, so nobody really cared about World War II zombies after the first DLC. So they just tried to put something in together quickly, and the result of that was the Tortured Path. So for that, it's definitely the worst when it comes to World War II zombies. The worst map on Black Ops 4 is by far Voyage of Despair. Now, Voyage of Despair is a really bad map in general to most zombie players. Personally, I don't think it's one of the worst of all time like most think, but I don't really like it that much either compared to the other maps on Black Ops 4. The only one that comes close to being worse than Voyage of Despair is Blood of the Dead, but even then I still do like Blood of the Dead a lot in certain aspects when it comes to that map. It's very hardcore, it's very Easter egg orientated, which I do enjoy a lot when it comes to zombies. Voyage of Despair is in a similar situation when it comes to the hardcore audience liking this map a lot. The two big reasons why Voyage of Despair is a really bad map comes down to the map layout and then the wonder weapons. When it comes to the wonder weapon, it's very underwhelming for most people. The Kraken doesn't really feel like a wonder weapon when it's in your hands. It feels really clunky for a weapon in general, and for the most part, most of the upgraded variants don't do that much damage to carry you into the higher rounds, so you can't really say it's a good wonder weapon either. When it comes to the map layouts, Voyage of Despair is by far one of the worst maps of all time. It's really complicated to navigate this map properly because of all of the floors that are in the middle section of the map. It's very hard to navigate and find perks, find the pack-a-punch, find weapons in general. It can be really complicated for newer players. Overall, I wouldn't say that Voyage of Despair is one of the worst maps of all time, but it's definitely close. For me, I'd probably put it on like a D tier if I was ranking all the maps. It's definitely a bad map for sure, and definitely the worst when it comes to Black Ops 4. The worst map on Cold War Zombies is going to be going to Firebase Z. Now, Firebase Z is a really bad map for one reason, and that's the mini bosses. When it comes to the mimics, there's just way too many that spawn on this map into the later rounds. It can be really annoying to go into the later rounds on this map. And when it comes to the wonder weapon as well, it's not that great compared to other wonder weapons on Cold War Zombies, like the ray gun, the crystal axe, the die shockwave, or the Cerberus. In my opinion, all of those wonder weapons are miles better than the Ray K, and it's sad because the Ray K used to actually be pretty decent on launch, but then Treyarch had to do multiple patches and they nerfed it a little bit, and now it's kind of whatever. I don't really like it that much. I would prefer any other wonder weapon on Cold War to the Ray K, which does kind of suck because, like I said, it used to actually be pretty good. Not only that, but then they did patch the map layout as well on this map. There used to be this glitch where you can jump up on a ledge and you can skip buying the first door on the map. It was really cool and I wish they kept it in, but then eventually they did patch it. It rewarded skillful and knowledgeable players for knowing how the mechanics work and how the map worked. It was really cool, but then I don't know why they patched it, but they did. For that, I do definitely hate this map a lot more because on launch, Firebase Z, in my opinion, was a lot better than where it's at right now. Overall, I wouldn't say it's one of the worst maps of all time. I know a lot of people have a personal vendetta when it comes to Firebase Z and they think it's a bad map. I don't think it's a bad map. For me, it's kind of a middle of the road, but definitely compared to other Cold War Zombies maps, it's not my favorite. So for that, I'm going to be putting it as the worst map in Cold War Zombies. Now for our last game, we have Vanguard Zombies. Now Vanguard Zombies, I would say the worst map is probably Duran Fong. Again, I never played Vanguard Zombies, I never bought into it, but I did put Shinonuma Reborn as the best map on Vanguard Zombies. And Terra Maledicta is original and has some cool concepts that look really cool and play out really cool. Duran Fong overall just feels like a rushed product. It doesn't have any coherent features on the map. It's just multiplayer aspects mixed in with aspects in Shinonuma, and it just doesn't work well. They also cut off multiple portions on those maps, so you're not even playing the full multiplayer map or the full Shinonuma map itself. You do only play portions of that. Not only is the map layout itself lazy, rushed, and just not good whatsoever, they also rushed a lot of normal aspects when it comes to playing zombies. There was no wonder weapon for like the longest time on this map. There's just way too many bad mini bosses as well. The ones that run up to you and explode are okay, I guess, but the ones that have like the giant machine guns that shoot you down, they're just annoying, they look stupid. I don't like them whatsoever. There's little to no redeeming factors when it comes to Duran Fong. They did patch it a little bit over time, and now it's acceptable as a zombies map, if you can even call it a zombies map. But overall, still one of, if not my least favorite when it comes to zombies in general. So for that, definitely the worst on Vanguard. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up this video for today. It was a little bit of a long one, so definitely leave a like, subscribe, do all that. Leave your comments down below if you want to see me do any other type of content. Check out the Comfy Cushion Reacts channel. It's a channel me and my friends do. We react to stuff. We need all the help we can get, so definitely check that out. And yeah, I got nothing much else to say, so peace.